Made it to the end of the show. Thank you so much for sticking around this episode of Upper Michigan Today. Really, it's all about the power of storytelling. For the first half of the show, we talked about the Edmund Fitzgerald, and of course, that story has lived on. The legacy lives on for 50 years because it's been preserved through storytelling, through song. Poetry has that same kind of impact. And we're here with Beverly Matherne, Marty Achatz. Beverly, you're getting ready to pass the Poet Laureate torch on to Jesse, who we just heard from before, but I want to hear about your experience for the last 2+ years you've been serving in this role. How would you describe your time as the Poet Laureate?
It was fabulous.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. I loved working with students and, you know, doing those workshops with them. They're the future.
Yeah.
And they're
really
so
are.
talented. And I loved all the readings I got invited to do, and you know, and the blurbs I was invited to write for people's books, and so it's really been wonderful.
Yeah, because the Poet Laureate kind of creates a project that they do around the UP for their 2-year stint. Marty, what's the application and choosing process like for picking out the next Poet Laureate?
Yeah, after a 2-year term of the Poet Laureate, right about the 6-month time where we need to choose a new one, we start gathering stuff and we open the application process. So all poets from across the UP are welcome to invite. We had quite a range of ages, from a college age student up through the other ones like Jesse. They submit an application. And part of that application, which is really important, is the project that they're going to work on for those 2 years. Everybody had really wonderful projects, and I'm really excited to see what Jesse does. And then once we get all the 3 top applicants, we send that to the selection committee, which is made up of about 9 people from across the UP. And then they vote, and whoever gets the most votes is the one that is selected as the UP Poet Laureate. So, yeah, it's not just me sitting there going, who do I like and who I know. It's not.
It's a big team.
It's part of a huge team, and that's why it was a little delayed this year, because we had a little changeover in the board and everything, so we needed to just push it off a little bit. But now we've got a new Poet Laureate, and we're ready to head into the next couple years with Jesse. So
nice. Beverly, what are your thoughts on Jesse and in his work and passing on the torch from one Poet Laureate to another?
He will do a wonderful job. Yeah, he's a wonderful poet and a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that there's somewhat of a connection between you two. I haven't actually heard any of Jesse's poetry, but he told me in our conversation that he believes that the spoken poetry is its final form. So he pays a lot of attention to the orality of his poems. You've done some poetry readings for us, and so I feel like your voice, how you read your poems, is a big aspect of your works too. Well, how do you kind of approach your poetry writing and then sharing it with other people?
Well, you know, when you're writing, it takes a little while sometimes for things to fall together and for the poem to feel like a whole thing. And then once it is, and you get to read it in public, then you actually have the ability to move an audience with your narrative, as you were saying. And that really fills me with joy.
Yeah, I mean, I've sat in on many poetry workshops, and poets, yes, they do work on the page, but in a workshop, inevitably, if you're sitting by people, you're going to hear them going and whispering the words out loud, because the sound and how it comes in the mouth and out is just as important as the words themselves. So yeah, Jesse's right on target there. It is an oral tradition. It is an oral art form. And really, I'm not saying don't buy poetry books, believe me. I've got 2, Amazon.com. But really, it is a spoken art form that really you need to experience like that.
Yeah. Beverly, what is it about poetry that you're drawn to as an artistic form, as a means to tell stories?
I'm drawn to the kind of emotional power you can pack in your narrative in a poem. And then that's how you move an audience, you know, and I really like working that way. And I have a theater background, and it feeds into the way that I deliver my
Yeah,
poems.
it's almost a performance,
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you when you put together a reading, whatever it is, you're always looking for pacing. You're looking for beats and things like that. So poetry is sort of combines so many different art forms. It's a written art form. It's a spoken art form. It's a performative art form. Sometimes it's a sung art form. So I mean, lots of different disciplines come into what it means to be a poet.
Well, you two, we only have 45 seconds left of our show. I wanted to thank the both of you for joining me to talk about your poetry. You both are fantastic poets. I would recommend their works to anybody looking to read poetry. You have an especially interesting book about Bigfoot. So I'll make
yeah, there you go. Thank you for that.
Well, of course, I've got a copy of it on my desk
There
right
you
now.
go.
I like to read it from time to time. I will link both of their books to our web story, uppermichigansource.com, so you can take a gander if you wish. But for now, thank you for tuning in and for hanging out with us, Upper Michigan. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody.